All this Cowboy love has me feeling so sick. The only people that should remain on lockdown are Mark Holmes and the Dallas Cowboy fans. They got delusional angina, okay? Don't they know Dallas still stinks? And look, tell Ben DiNucci, cook me some macaroni. Dallas still stinks. Everybody doing King Thing by here, and what a crazy world we live in. What a crazy world. Now, I'm not talking about everything going on with the virus and out there in the world. I'm talking about delusional Dallas Cowboy fans. Delusional. Because since the draft, they are in full mass delusion, and it's being led by Mark Holmes, the guy who never eats a carbohydrate to save his life. And he needs them. He needs them bad because he needs to chill out, man. He needs that sugar rush in the brain. You know what I'm saying? In the brain, Mark. Anyways, we're going to get into Dallas in a second because got to set a few things straight. However, before I do that, there are two things I want to get into regarding the Eagles. First thing, Eagles bring back Clement on a 1-year deal. I'm okay with this move. Obviously, I love Clement for everything he did to help us win a Super Bowl and all those kind of things. Local kid. I'm glad to see him come back for a year. I think it may be hard for him to make this team. And we're hearing that the Eagles may still add a veteran running back. Could that be a Shady McCoy, a Devontae Freeman, somebody like that? Who knows? I have no idea. But the Eagles still are looking to bring in another running back, so we have to keep our eyes out. But I kind of like these young running backs. I kind of like what they have, and I want to see what they could do. But bringing Clement adds some veteran experience, add a guy who could play special teams, and I kind of like it. So I'm okay with that move. I think it's pretty good. The other thing I want to say is, I personally, and this is a personal opinion, I think it's time to bring back Jason Peters. I think Jason Peters has been on the free agency market too long. He's been out there, and I think the Eagles should attempt to bring him back. Now, I don't think he should come back in a starting role at left tackle. I want Dillard to take on that role. That's why we drafted him in the first round. He's going to have to man up and do it. But Jason Peters would provide great insurance. Who the hell's yelling out there? What kids? Don't you know it's lockdown? Get in your house. You hear these stinking kids yelling? Anyways. Oh, I gotta tell you this other story about this crazy lady walking around pissing, her dog's pissing, pooping everybody's yard. People were down at the park, she's complaining. Now they came out and the police taped off the whole park so people can't go out down there or walk to get sunshine, to get vitamin D, so they don't get sick. This lady is nuts. Anyways, there's a whole nother story. I get into that later. Stupid lady. Her dog pisses and poops on everybody's yards and she's writing people up because she's part of the homeowners association. Anyways, she's probably a Cowboy fan. But anyways, I think it's time to bring Jason Peters back. I do. I would like him as insurance to Dillard. But most of all, I would like to try to get him to play left guard. If the Eagles could somehow get him to start at left guard, I think he could do it. I think he would be pretty good at it. And I think it would vastly help this offensive line. But Jason Peters has been out there for a while. There are teams, I heard the Redskins could be interested, the Chargers could be interested. But I think on a personal level, I want to see Jason Peters come back. Maybe he'll take less. Maybe he'll take that backup role, and he'll be insurance to Dillard if Dillard, falters. And then maybe we can move him inside. I think that would be a great move. I don't know where he's at. I don't know what he wants to do. But it's something that I hope could happen. I would like to see Jason Peters come back. And at this point, he's been out on the free agency market so long. He should be cheap. And maybe he wants to stay home in Philly. So we're going to have to see how that goes. Definitely, no doubt about it. Now, the last part of this video is something really, I just have to get off my chest. I just have to tell you how I feel. Because it's been building up since since the draft. And we went through the draft process. We went through the Jalen Hurts pick. We went through all of that. We went through the Cowboys taking CeeDee Lamb, and we've gone through all of it. And all I've listened to is the Cowboy love. Day after day, they love what the Cowboys did. Mark Holmes keeps doing Eagle videos. Why are you doing so many Eagle videos? You're coming after us. You're coming after us because they think they got the upper hand on us. They think that the Jalen Hurts pick was a reflection on Carson Wentz. And I'm going to be the first to admit it. Everybody knows my feelings on taking him in the second round. If they would have took him in the third round, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. If they would have took him in the fourth round, wouldn't have had a problem with it. I had a problem with what was on the board that we passed up. But look, here's the thing, and I'm going to defend Howie Roseman on this one. I'm going to defend the Eagles on this one, okay? The difference between the Eagles and the Cowboys, and the reason why the Eagles will go back and win more Super Bowls and the Cowboys will struggle, is because the Cowboys do not value the quarterback position like the Philadelphia Eagles do. The Eagles make it a top priority to have good quarterbacks. Dallas, they crap on their quarterbacks. Let's be honest. Let's think about this for a second. Carson Wentz, his biggest concern and the only fear that people are worried about, and I think the Eagles are worried about this too. I think that's why they took Hurts in the second round. I think they worry about his injury history. I think that's fair. I think that's obviously a fair statement by what the Eagles did. However, the Eagles know the value of that position, and to think that they're not committed to Carson Wentz long term is totally ridiculous. They signed him to a mega contract. And they did it because they believe in him. They believe in his talent. And when he's healthy and when he's playing, you see what he could do. What he did the last 5 weeks of the season, Dak Prescott could not do. He could not win with that level wide receivers. We saw it before the Amari Cooper trade. You remember before the Dallas got Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott stunk. He stunk. He was horrible. He had no weapons. They get Amari Cooper, he got much better. And then they had Gallup, he developed a little bit last year, and he got much better. Now they got CeeDee Lamb, and he's probably going to have a pretty good year. However, the Eagles believed in Carson Wentz enough to sign him. The Dallas Cowboys still have not signed Dak Prescott to a long-term extension. They have not signed him to a long-term extension. Why? Why would you pass up on getting him done? You could have done it 2 years ago. They still haven't done it. Now it's going to be harder and harder. And now, the truth is he's not happy. He's not happy. And what's going to happen in negotiation? Don't be surprised if they franchise him. He doesn't sign anything this year. Next year, they try to franchise him again, and it gets ugly, and he eventually gets moved. This is why a lot of people thought Dallas would take Jalen Hurts, because there's no stability right now with Dallas and Dak Prescott. And who's their backup? Cooper Rush? He stinks. Who's scared of him? And then they go out, and here's the greatest thing. They go out in a draft, and they draft an Italian chef, Ben DiNucci. They draft an Italian chef. When I hear the name Ben DiNucci, I want macaroni. The only thing that dude is going to be holding in his hand, and the only balls he's throwing are the meatballs up there he's rolling out, putting in the pans, cooking up, because he ain't a quarterback, he's a chef. And he's going to feed Zeke Elliott so much, the guy's going to wind up being 310 pounds before the season starts. Ben DiNucci is the answer to Dak Prescott. You got to love it. Stupidity at the finest. At least the Eagles value the quarterback position enough to pay their quarterback, the franchise quarterback, like a franchise quarterback. At least they value the quarterback position enough that if he gets hurt or goes down, that they have a backup plan. So they go out and they get a guy like Jalen Hurts. Now, I wouldn't have done it in the second round, but I understand the logic. Makes sense. The Eagles value the quarterback position. This is why the Eagles won a Super Bowl in 2017. This is why Dallas Cowboys haven't won since, TVs were 4x3, right? Before the 16x9, there was no widescreen then. They had their cable, their VHS, they're old timers. They ain't going back to any Super Bowl soon. The only reason they won 3 in the 90s was because of the Herschel Walker trade. That was it. They done nothing. Jerry Jones have done nothing. He doesn't value quarterbacks. If he really valued Dak Prescott, he would have gone out and signed him. he would have signed him to an extension already, but he's still playing games with him. And he risks losing him, and then you're going to have Cooper Rush out there, and Ben DiNucci's going to be in the kitchen, pouring the wine and the gravy, stirring. So use a wooden spoon, Ben DiNucci. Use the wooden spoon to stir the tomatoes, okay? Use a wooden spoon, because it tastes much better. Don't come out and use milk spoon. Use a wooden spoon, Ben DiNucci, but you probably already know that, because you're an Italian chef. You ain't a quarterback. And that's what the Dallas Cowboys drafted. So I'm so sick and tired of hearing Mark Holmes talk about the Eagles. Talk about the Eagles did this and they don't believe in Carson Wentz and all this kind of stuff. And Carson had a bad year in 2018. And he had a bad year playing on a broken back. But when it was, but they ignored. Mark always ignores. Last game of the year when the Eagles played Dallas, right? Second to last game of the year. For division, what happened? With practice squad guys, Carson Wentz went up and destroyed the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, he went home. And then the next week in a meaningless game, under a dome, he has a nice big game. Oh, big deal. Big deal. The Eagles will be more successful going into the future, and even next year, because the Eagles value the quarterback position more than the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe they value it more than any other team. I mean, to get Jalen Hurts in the second round wasn't just because Carson Wentz may get hurt. I mean, that's part of it, but they value the position. What can you say? The team values the position, and although I wouldn't have gone that early, I respect it. I can respect it. I can respect what Howie Roseman did. I think Carson Wentz can. I think the Eagles can. However, Dallas, hey, look, we'll see what happens with Dak Prescott. Maybe in a year or two, he's not even a Dallas Cowboy anymore, and you have Ben DiNucci throwing up them meatballs. Make me some Alfredo. Make me some lasagna. I want some veal parmesan. Ben DiNucci, send it over right now. I want it. Because that's all he is. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Don't be a dingbat. Mark Holmes is going to be so pissed.